Hi, how you doing?
This is Camille, who's the Sunday editor and does a million other things as well. She's also on the de facto business editor.
So today is, when you say the Sunday editor, you are particularly working on the Sunday
stories.
paper.
Yeah, that takes a week to produce.
Alright, so
They work from Tuesdays to Saturdays. So Saturdays they run a news desk, focus on whatever news is happening on Saturdays.
this is my end product.
The Sunday paper is planned from the Tuesday. That's when they decide what we're focusing on for Sunday, because it involves a lot of feature stories, news features, stories that involve more research, talking to more people, more interviews.
So all these are things that you plan in advance. You try to as far as possible.
When something happens, you write the online version of the story first.
Yeah.
This is
How you doing,
Lyndon.
right?
How you doing, man?
Nice to meet you.
Are you supposed to do that? Anyway,
Well,
you're
I'm a hand clean and I'm not drinking coffee.
yeah, there are hand sanitizers there, and
Yes.
there's another one through that doorway as well if you need. TT post with no gap between TT and post. Okay? Which I fixed in your story yesterday, by the way.
My name is Jensen La Vende. I am a senior reporter at Newsday. Today I'm working on a story for tomorrow's paper involving contractor Emile Elias. I know in the past the Commissioner of Police have been clamoring that people accused or people suspected of serious crimes not be given government contracts. Emile Elias already has a lot of government contracts. So I'm just going to Google government and state contracts. And Gary Clifford. Most of these coming up were just gangs. So that's not applicable. If it's broad enough that it could be included in this story, if not, well then just leave it alone. But I definitely want to hear from Dr. Rowley on this particular issue, given that him and Emile Elias have been friends for quite some time. They have both stated that they are friendly with each other. So just to hear from him now that your friend has been charged with a serious offense, what, if anything, do you have to say about this? And what about the contracts that he have, including one to construct the Carnage police station? I'll probably send some WhatsApp messages to a couple government ministers and see what they have to say, if anything at all. Particularly comment, but
Sean, having postcard today?
Seemingly not. I'm just trying to cast my eye over the parliamentary landscape for this week. This committee is a committee of privileges from the Senate, which will be meeting tomorrow, Friday, to discuss Anil Roberts' situation, because he got put out for, well, even now the committees may be sitting virtually, but they will take one particular topic and go into a lot of detail. It looks kind of boring at the surface, but there may be stories within it, and I think that's one of the jobs of journalists, the 300-page bill, as you could see. So I think the reporter's job is really to be a translator. You really pick out what the essence is, and you package it in a concise form and digestible for the public, entertaining, informative, and you can also try to shine a spotlight on certain areas within there that you think really need.
At the time when you came earlier on, this is the story that I had edited, and I asked them to place online.
Who's that? The transport minister?
Transport Minister, yeah.
Mr. Yohance Simonette. Okay, so he met with the taxi drivers.
Yes, well, briefly, because he was in cabinet, and so he came outside, I guess, when he heard they were protesting to speak to them. People are calling for the regularization of PH taxis with all of this drama that's going on with women being kidnapped, etc. Criminals are using the PH taxis, as we saw with Ashanti, as we saw with Andrea. A lot of what people are saying is that the regular taxi drivers, they go off duty after a while. So in the night, the only car you might be able to get is an illegal taxi. Under the Motor Vehicles Act, taxi drivers not supposed to work more than 10 hours a day. If you work in the day, you don't work in the night, and vice versa. So they're challenging the PH drivers to become legal and then go back and work in the night, since there's a need to be filled there. He's our staff member from Venezuela. So once it affects the Venezuelan community, he might translate stories. He also goes into the Venezuelan community and finds stories that we, as Trinidadians might not be privy to.
I worked in some newspaper in Venezuela before he coming to Trinidad. All Venezuelan call me when they have problems. Spoke with or speak with the authorities, with the living water community, with the embassy, with the ONGs for the support to the community. No only with the Venezuelan, with the Latino community. And I pass the information to my editors.
Within NEW, we have access to Associated Press articles. This is where you will get the story in NEW. And we also have access to the photos. So you will type in, for example, cycling, a keyword, or the name of the event, and it will come up here. And it's a simple drag and drop onto the story.
So how does journalism and being a journalist impact on relationships?
There's your answer.
Oh yes, on the mother, yes. Oh yeah, okay.
That's very distressing.
Yeah, multiple gunshot wounds.
Rather,
They
as
expected
expected.
anything.
Have a number?
Hmm?
Have a number of gunshot wounds?
No, just in multiple.
Well, kind of knew that, right?
Yeah. So what to do? Put the autopsy results, and then probably we could add that the mother was rushed to hospital or hospitalized, and find out.
I don't know if I want to intrude on her like that. Is he doing
Just probably put
doing a story saying that he was shot multiple times? I mean, we were aware of that. If we had a figure like he was shot 12 times or whatever the case may be, realize that first.
We have a story.
Ask Shane if you could get some more specifics.
Shane, hello. Asked me to ask you if you could get more specifics to find out like how many times he was shot. I hope I have a story there. Because I have nothing for the day.
What came out of the cricketers in the press conference?
Shane was just talking about his century that he scored yesterday, but he also said he took advice from Zagari Sobels in the last few months while he was away from cricket and so on. So that might be a nice story angle. Just talk about how tough it was to come back from contracting COVID-19 and what he did over the last 6 months being away from cricket and so on. But when the pandemic hit around March last year, we were really, kind of searching hard for stories to fill the pages, because around March, April is normally a busy time around the dry season. So we really had to search for stories and do a lot of feature stories and continuously touching base with athletes and so on.
Names would not be hard to find. And if you tell so, they will find the principal.
All we have is the name of the two presidents' medal winners. Alright, so one is from Hillview, one is from Naparima Girls. So I am trying to find the two students. They are teenagers, so Facebook is the first place that we want to look. I found one on Facebook.
Rhianna?
Yeah?
I had met the principal once, but I didn't get a number. But his name is Leslie Mahays.
Have you tried TikTok?
TikTok.
I've got something to write up. Something small. The 4 p.m. update. Just to say that, we had 10 new cases.
No, but you can't copy it and paste it. Is there any way you can copy it and paste it? No, but it... She's under punishment. She's under punishment. She's under punishment. So just copy and paste it.
That's how you want to sing for him?
No.
That's
good, right?
What's wrong with all that?
Melissa.
No. Hey,
you
you
know,
see
that
kind
talent.
of things I don't like in Newsday. I am no singer.
She entertains us ever so often.
I am no singer.
It's funny.
I can make one.
Don't make
I
jokes.
know I am no singer.
Because I'm not happy with him being here, so I'm going to ask the paginator to move him and put the designer here because the story is about him. So yes, I'm not happy that the designer, person who the story is about, is not on the first page. So he is going to move. I'm going to ask the designer to move him and bring the actual Marlon Smart, who the story is about, bring him on this page. So yes, we do have some say, all the say actually, in how the page looks. Yeah, we can WhatsApp, but he's right in the back there, so I will just walk over and tell him, or I could call him on the phone and just say, you know, I think we should bring him in front and move this one off the page. So it works like that. It doesn't always end happily, but most times we cooperate. Sometimes he may override me, sometimes I override him.
You got a warning, what?
I got 3 months. Alright, you two van get 5. Rodney, I don't come and talk to you, bro.
Damian, this gentleman here is just doing some.
Oh God, I catch me watching football.
Why you in the sports department now?
No, boy, my team playing today.
I just think Marlon should come on the first page and put the gentleman on the first page. Yes, switch him and put Marlon in. Put the stories up on Marlon.
There's always two my male masqueraders, them thing, oh God.
Yeah, we always put in the
Oh,
guy.
what they doing with that? Marlon not even in our costume. Kind of place him over the previous guy and fit it and then try to place the caption here, and that's where she got the vision that really not working.
Yeah.
We have to finish the entire paper before 9:30 from start to finish.
I have 3 stories that I want to discuss as the potential lead for tomorrow. The commissioner went on the rampage on his Facebook page today, attacking the judiciary once again. So the strap could be Top Cup angry over poultry gun fines. Gary hits judiciary could be the headline. One of the President Medal winners is from NAPS. So my reporter is now scrambling to try and get information as to where these 2 students are, where they are located, so we can do the normal interview and get pictures. As of now, I got pictures, and it's just a press conference story. So that kind of limits that as a potential lead.
5:02 according to my phone. No response from the Prime Minister. No response from the Housing Minister. No response from Utica Chairman.
The photo essay with the Venezuelans to show how they're living.
With the help of our internal networking, I was able to get the contact of one of the students who I reached out to. He's busy at the moment, so I have to call him back in a few minutes, but he is willing to get an interview. So
at this point in the day, all the photographers will come and put their photos in the system here. And I will just go through, decide what I think maybe look good for the front page or what maybe look good for different supplements, enter a meeting to discuss which photos we would use for the front page. Once we decide on what we're using, then I will come take it out and edit them.
Once an editor gives the green light to a story, we'll pass it on to pagination after we've decided exactly where it will be published in our paper based on the value. What goes on the front, that's what the margin that you just witnessed helps us determine, and where exactly in the paper it will fall, how much space that we want to attribute to it. Of course, we have to find a balance between news and ads because the company does need to sustain itself. Using this panel, which tells me exactly what ads we have and what ad space remaining that we have to work with, we will determine how much space we're using for news of the day. So we have older stories to the back, we have most important and newer stories to the front of the paper. When I decide what stories go into a page, I will assign it. Paginator will be able to check articles ready, and he will see what page each story is assigned to. He would use the planner. He'll be able to open each page that will come in with ads and certain elements of the page, like the headings and stuff, these things are preset. He would build the page with the remaining space with the elements that we give to him. So the editors will determine what copy exactly, how much copy, what pictures exactly, how many, what other elements like tables that we want to send for the page.
Alright, everyone, have a good evening.